Okay, we're going with the book Holy Grail of Wisdom, quotes by me, P. Rogers. Letter P. Plautus was a Roman comic playwright back in 254, 184 BC. And he said, man is a wolf to man. Kind of scary. Patience is the best remedy for most troubles. You cannot eat your cake and have it too. Man proposes, God disposes. My mother used to always say that, especially after she broke a promise, like she was supposed to give me a ride to a friend's house, and she just like, well, I got busy. She was funny. She had a bunch of little rhymes that were fun. Plautus. He shows bread in one hand, but in the other he is carrying a stone. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Your wealth is where your friends are. Where there are friends, there is wealth. A word to the wise is sufficient. If you insult, then expect to be insulted. Everyone can remember the things they are interested in. Yeah, so it's good to be interested in something if you got to learn it. Like whenever I used to do a rotation, a clinical rotation as a medical student or something, I would try to get myself psyched up that maybe I'll go into peds, maybe I'll go into OB-GYN, whatever I was rotating through, and make it easier to learn. Okay, Plautus continues. Courage is the best virtue of all, because our liberty, our safety, our life, estate, and country are by this preserved and protected. Practice what you preach. Okay, the next person to quote here is William Plomer. He lived from 1903 to 1973. He was from South Africa, a literary editor, novelist, and poet, and he said, "It is the function of creative men to connect the seemingly unconnected. Creativity is the power to connect the seemingly unconnected." Yeah, so you know you're dealing with a good speaker when they surprise you. You know, they're saying stuff, you're like, well, that's right. That's interesting. That's what it takes. Okay, so here is Arthur Plotnik. He was an author and a journalist and a librarian, and he wrote a really good book called Spunk and Bite Me, which is sort of about a play on Strunk and White's book about writing. He said, writing is risk-taking. And then my favorite line from him is, writing is about force, about driving home an idea, with the idea there being like for a composer to be great, they have to make the climax moment magnificent. You know, Beethoven had said, Handel is the only composer who's better than me. Because Handel would have these magnificent climax moments, you know, like in the Hallelujah chorus or something. And, you know, George Bernard Shaw had also said, you know, listening to Handel's music, you sense that's really like one of the key things about being a great creative artist, musical composer or writer, is that the key point just stands out in such a way that it's memorable forever, you know. You know, like a great quote, a McDougall quote, "The fat you eat is the fat you wear." That's a magnificent quote. You know, one of my favorite quotes, my own quote, is, you know, the way we should live is be like Adam and Eve, but keep our indoor heating and plumbing. That you can easily remember, and it tells you what is right to know and remember. All right, Arthur Plotnik. My interest in speech is with the rise from feeble locutions to bell ringers. Readers love surprise. They love the boing of the jack and the box word. Remove everything that smells predictable, cliched, or lazy. With the semicolon, there's a split-second tease. Semicolons inject expectation into sentences, and in literature, expectancy is a good thing. It creates subliminal tension followed by release. Okay, last person for today is Plutarch, the Greek historian. He lived from 46 to 120 AD. I'm wearing my Greek tie today, you know, the blue and the white stripes, which I should have worn yesterday for finishing up on the sessions of Plato's quotes. But Plutarch himself is a Greek historian and a great one, so this will work. He's most famous for writing a book called Plutarch's Parallel Lives, where he compared one Greek to one Roman, and there were lessons to be learned from that for the reader that were valuable. Alex Petkis, the guy who runs that really good YouTube channel called The Cost of Glory, especially about the Romans, he just loves Plutarch. He thinks it's the greatest book ever. Okay, and Plutarch's method of comparing things, you know, to compare and contrast, is a valuable, memorable way to learn. Okay, so Plutarch says, valor, however unfortunate, commands great respect, even from enemies. But the Romans despise cowardice, even though it be prosperous. It is not important how many enemies there are, but where the enemy is. The wildest colts make the best horses. Those who aim at great deeds must suffer greatly. Yeah, it's like my coach would say, If you want to be the best, you got to accept what comes with it to defend your position. The wind blows hardest at the top. To please the many is to displease the wise. Many things that cannot be done all at once will yield themselves up when taken little by little. Water that continues to drip can wear down a hard rock. Yes, perseverance can lead to great things. Character is simply habit long continued. Choose what is best, and habit will make it pleasant and easy. Yeah, figure out what you really want to do, because once you figure that out, then it's easy to focus your energy and to generate energy. When the candles are out, all women are pretty. Okay, so I hope you found that helpful.